Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another Farming Simulator 2013. We just finished up foraging, filling up our forage wagon with grass on this brand new field here. I'll show you just right where we're at. We are currently down here in field 41 that I purchased last night. I've been working on this for quite a while. It's taken a long time to get all of this replanted because this used to be a huge crop. It took me forever to get it seeded, took me forever to grow it, took me forever to mow it, and now put it all in a wagon. It's been a long process, and the reason I've been doing so much of this is because I wanted to get some more silage going down here where the cows are. And you're actually going to notice just down here I have also completed my greenhouse section. The only problem I'm having with it is I can't find a water source nearby. And you can see that I also sold off my bee houses, and I also relocated them to over here. Figured this would be an awesome place to line them all up instead of having everything all separated, so I went ahead and put everything right over here. And it works out very well, by the way, to have all of the greenhouses lined up like this, because basically what you got to do is you just drive in between the greenhouses like this, just like how I've got my tractor parked there, and you just drive and stop at each water tank, fill them up, and then you come back around with your fermented fertilizer stuff, and then you just drop it in the boxes, which I have not done yet. So this is why I'm doing what I'm doing here. I've got a couple trailer loads here waiting to be dumped off into the silo. We're going to ferment it, and then we're going to use the loader to drop it into the actual greenhouses, because that's what's going to increase their yield for our hourly income. So that's our goal for this episode here. And so all we're going to do is we're going to pull in just like this, and then we're going to start to, oops, as I drop it off. We need to pull forward some more, I guess. There we go, unload wagon. So we're going to offload it, kind of drag it out a little bit, just like this. There we go. And then we're going to pull out, go grab our other trailer here, which is all tilted sideways. And then we're going to offload this one, if we can get out of here. There we go. Offload wagon. Kind of drag it out a little bit, make it all somewhat even. There we go. Just like that. So now we're going to pull these forward just like this, and then we're going to swap over to our compactor slash loader. So now we're going to come back over here and then we're going to compact it really quick. See, if I cruise nice and slow over it, it'll compact it actually quite fast. See, if you even just drive back and forth over it, you can actually even drive outside of it. You don't even have to touch it. You could just drive out here like this and it still compacts it. It's kind of weird, but I think for the realism, we'll just drive over it for the heck of it. So we're almost 100% compacted here, and there we are. Now we're going to go ahead and blanket the silo, but we're going to get out of here because we don't want to get launched up in the air with that. Okay, let's go ahead and blanket it up. And there you go. We have another silo full of silage that's fermenting. Now once it's done fermenting, we are going to pick up a couple bucket loads of it here, and then we're going to take it over here. So we're just going to imagine that we've got ourselves a bucket full of our fermented silage, and then we're just going to pull up to each of these like this, and then we're just going to raise it up, drop it in, and then pull up to the next one like this, raise it up, drop it in, so forth. So I don't know if this one would be an easier to use, or if it would be easier to use the actual forklift with the claw and drop it in. I'm not too sure which one would be easier. And I know that our mixer, I think, just needs the straw, grass, yeah, the hay. Oh, it also needs silage. So we can also dump some silage in here as well. So I think that's probably what we'll do, is we'll drop a bucket full of silage into this thing once it's done fermenting as well. And then we just need some straw. So I want to say that we are able to bring some straw out from this thing here, because I've got hay bales and stuff that I've dropped in here, but I'm not sure if that's how it works, or if maybe you just drop a hay bale, you know, right into the machine itself. Let's go back to it really quick. Nope, that's the wrong one. It's right here. Okay, we've already got hay, so we need straw. So we need to break down hay into straw and then drop that into here. But I think you maybe have to do that with the chafing machine. I'm not too sure. But at any rate, I'm going to pause it here, and then when we come back, this blanket, or our fermenting, should be 100% done. And it's already at 4%, but our blanket should be lifted, and then we should be able to start filling up our greenhouses with fertilizer. And then hopefully we can get into figuring out some straw, and then we can start working on our feeding machine to start feeding these cows. And then there's really not a whole lot else we could be doing. I've pretty much got everything under control on this game. So Season 2 might be coming to a close here before too long, just because of how much stuff there really wasn't left to do. But yeah, anyway, we'll get into fixing up our greenhouses here. I need to find a water source. That's the problem that I'm having right now, is all my water tanks are dying, or all my plants are dying, because I do not have enough water. Like, my tanker only holds so much water, so all my plants in here are dying. And I just can't seem to find a water source nearby. I've got to constantly drive from here all the way back to the inn right here. And I've been driving all over, and I can't find a local water source to fill up my water tanker with, so that's what's making this kind of difficult. But at any rate, I'm going to pause it here. We'll come back when the fermenting is done, and then we'll go from there. Okay, so we are back, and while we're still waiting for the fermenting process to be done over at the cow pastures, I figured I would try and get some straw under control. And what I've got going so far is the field just directly behind my red tractor there. I've got it planted with wheat. So what we're going to do is we're going to harvest that, and then we are going to pick up some. We're going to windrow it, and then we're going to turn it into straw bales with the round baler. So that's kind of what we were going to try and do while we're waiting here. The only problem is I've got so much equipment stacked up here that I've got to start relocating, and I've also got to try and find my round baler, which ought to prove to be quite interesting. I think that's it actually right there. Let's just move this slurry tanker. God, this thing is heavy. Yes, right there actually. Perfect, and it's actually got a tractor sitting right to it. Alright, so let's just get this tractor, and then let's just pick up our round baler, because that's what we're going to need here. Let's turn on our lights. It's getting kind of dark. And let's take this round baler over to our field where we're going to need, let's see, let's make sure that, I'm pretty sure that's our round baler. I think our regular hay baler is off to the left over there. Yep, that's our regular square baler there. Okay, so we've got the round baler, that's what we need. Okay, so we're going to come on over here, park it next to this thing, and I'll show you guys exactly what we're going to do here in just a second. Or I shouldn't say just a second, but more so when that field starts to grow over there. Okay, so we have our equipment lined up. We've got the baler, we've got the machine that's going to be turning it into straw and spreading it. And then we need to come back over here and grab, that's going to be interesting to get out. Somebody parked a semi-trailer in forward. Oh my goodness. Okay, so we're going to jump into this guy real quick, and then we're going to cruise around the backside here, and then we're going to go pick up our windrower, because whenever we're done harvesting that wheat, we're going to windrow it into one row, and then hopefully get enough to show you guys. I just want to do at least one bale just to show you guys the whole premise behind what we're trying to do here. Alright, so we got our windrower. I'm wondering if we shouldn't grab a weight real quick. Let's see if I've got any weights laying around. I know I do. It's just a matter of getting to it. So let's go ahead and move these tools out of the way. There's one there, but it's like all... We're just going to have to run over the barrel because I can't even pick that one up. It like fell over. Alright, so now we're going to come back over here. Now we can hook up to our windrower. And I've got the time sped up to 120, so while we're messing around over here, the field should be starting to sprout. But we've still got a couple stages left before we can do that. So we're going to take our windrower. We're going to bring this over here as well and start getting prepared. Yeah, see, they're already starting to sprout. Okay, so we've already got our harvester sitting on the far side of the field over there waiting. So once it's done harvesting and it's spitting out the little rows of material, we are going to windrow it, and then we are going to use the round baler, make a couple passes to make a round baler, and then we're going to use this piece of equipment here. When you unfold it like that, you could drop a round bale in the back of it, and then it allows you to start to spread the straw. So now that you guys kind of get the whole equipment needed behind it, I will continue to let the time speed up. And let's see, also right up here I did get some water. I still can't find a local watering trough, so I have to keep driving all the way down to the main farm. But as of right now, I've got a full tank of water sitting up here at these tanks. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill up at least maybe 2 or 3 of these tanks full capacity, so we start getting some tomatoes. And then we actually might even be able to do that while the field is sprouting. We'll see if our stuff is done fermenting. Oh, the blanket is still on it. Let's go check on it and see how much further we've got on fermenting. 67%. So we're still a ways out before this thing is done. So hopefully by the time the fields are done growing, our fermenting will be done, fields will be done. That way we can show you guys the cow feeding process, the greenhouse watering and fertilizing process. And yeah, that'll probably conclude our Farming Simulator 2013 series for our Season 2 and indefinitely. So I'll pause it here yet again, and also inside this machine here, all we need is silage and straw, which we're about to get. So yeah, we're just about done. So I'll pause it here. When we come back, we should have everything under control for us to finally conclude this series. So we'll be right back. Alright, so as you guys can see, our wheat is finally just sprouted for the final phase. We can now get right to harvesting, and then you guys can see there's our straw that's being left behind. That's what we're needing here. So while the harvester continues to do that, I'm going to jump into the wrong piece of equipment here. There we go. That's what we're needing. So we're going to let the harvester probably do maybe 2 or 3 rows of this here. And you know what I'm thinking is we've got this harvester right over here. Maybe we'll give him some help. Let's go get this harvester over there. That way we can speed up the process and get a couple different rows going. And I also figured out that I don't need that feeding machine. The feeding machine is a very, very technical way to feed the cows, but I actually went up there and I parked my feeding machine next to the feeding trough, and I was actually able to dump the hay that I had in there into their feeding trough. So in essence, you can really feed them the higher end stuff like silage, the fermented stuff, which is actually better than just feeding them grass or hay. So silage is probably better. I mean, if you really want to get technical and do the whole mixing machines, which I really don't care to, you can if you really want to. But I'll show you guys the whole feeding process of the silage as well while we get up there. So let's go ahead and get this guy started. There we go. Okay, so we've got these guys both making us some nice rows of straw here. So as soon as these guys are done, we'll pick it back up again, and then I'll show you guys. We'll windrow them, and then we'll make a bale out of our baling machine. We'll drop it in there, and then we'll head on up to the cow fields. And actually, let's let these guys finish. Let's check on our fermenting. That's a better idea. Let's go see what our fermenting is at. Guess I should slow down time too. I don't want to kill off my stuff. Alright, so let's come on over here, because while those guys are harvesting, we could be maybe over here fermenting, or picking up fermented stuff. And nope, not quite done yet. Let's take a look here. 85%. We are almost there. Almost there. So anyway, yeah, so, oh, I thought that was a water trough right there. I was going to be mad if I've been driving back and forth. So anyway, so what I did was, see how you see my machine is empty. The cows are actually all over here eating it now, but I actually just pulled right up to the feeding trough right here, and then I just dropped it right into their feeding trough. That's why the cattle have all come over here and started eating it. So I'm going to actually drop the silage in there instead, because that increases their yield a little bit more. Let's see, our statistics. Cows, see the productivity, they're at 35% on their productivity right now. See their feeding trough grass, they have 1,600 pieces in there on that. So, see, you could drop the mixed rations in there, you could drop the silage in there, you could drop grass in there, you could even shoot hay in there, and that's what I'm going to show you, different styles of how to feed the cows. And then after that, so we've got the cow feedings, we've got the hay baler that we're going to be working on, we've got the silage container over there, and then we've got our greenhouses left just over there. So let's check on our fermenting one more time, and then we'll swap back to the harvesters to make sure they're not crashing into each other and slowing down our process here. Fermenting's at 88%, that's good. Let's go check on our harvesters. Okay, so these guys got about another 2 passes apiece on these guys here before they start colliding into each other. So we'll just let these guys finish harvesting real quick. So there's really not a whole lot left we could do. It's more so just kind of playing the waiting game right now, because we're just waiting on these guys to finish. We're waiting on the fermenting to be completed with the tarp and all that fun stuff. And I'd like to show you guys, I mean, not like it's a huge ordeal or anything, you know, all it does is just untarp. See, we're at 89% right now on fermenting, and I can't speed this process up. That's the only bad thing about it. You've just got to sit around and wait for it, unfortunately. So that's kind of why I'm doing multiple things, you know, the whole multitasking thing right now. Oh, great. This guy's full. Ah, now I got to go find a trailer. Let me go drop my tedder off real quick. Let's go unload these guys. I gotta go find a trailer in my cluster of machinery over here. That way we can offload them. Oh, let's see. What do we got? What do we got? Let's see. It looks like we've got... Excuse me, pardon me. Oh, can't turn in there. We can come right on the front here. I don't think our tractors can fit into this one. This one's a huge, tall trailer. And that looks like our windrower right over there. So what machine do I have hooked up? Do I have 2 of them? I gotta go check and make sure I've got the right windrower here. I've got the small rinky-dink one. That's what the problem is. We're gonna have to go back and change that one out. Can't be having that. I need the good stuff. There we go. I was worried that this was going to be too tall, but we're good. And then the other guy should probably be full too. Can't quite see down there, it's too dark, but he might be all the way full. So we're going to finish offloading these guys, and then we'll go grab the right windrower, get rid of that stupid little one, because that's more so for the smaller fields. We need the big one to get this one under control. Oh, he doesn't even have his pipe out. So this guy's actually good, but we'll follow alongside him real quick just to offload everything that he's got, just to be safe. Give me what you got. Oh yeah, he's getting full. You can see, that's what I like about these particular harvesters, is you can actually see what they've got up in their rooftop access there, if they're getting full or not. So we'll just dump this guy out, and then we'll actually jump out real quick and stop this harvester. Just like that. Okay, so let's come up right here. We'll stop the trailer there. We'll come over here without getting murdered by the harvester. Jump into it. And then we'll turn him off. Retract the pipe. Or put the pipe back in, and we'll just come right over here and we'll park him. Just like that. Then we'll come over here. Fire up this guy again. And then get this trailer out of the way, and then we'll just park the trailer for now, because that harvester won't fill up. So we don't have to worry about that. So let's go ahead and park this trailer here. We'll just leave that windrower there. Screw it. Who cares? My farm's a cluster when it comes to organization right now anyway. Alright, let's go get our really good windrower up here. This is my baby here. Let's hitch up. Oops. If I back up in the right direction. There we go. Now we've got the good windrower. Okay. Now let's head back to our fields, and our harvester should be finishing up just any minute now. We could probably even be windrowing some of the further rows away from him anyway. So let's go ahead and unfold this when we get through all this trees. I don't want to get hooked up on anything here. Just like this. Let's go ahead and turn it on. And there we go. We're going to windrow this bad boy right down the center. You want to drive down the center of your 2 rows because the outer windrowers blow it into the center, and then these other ones blow it into the center, which makes a perfectly straight line there. And that's exactly what you're wanting to do. So we're going to windrow these real quick. And then it looks like he's got one more line to harvest over there, but we should be okay. Let's see, make sure we get all of that. There we go. We'll turn that off. And we'll hang it right over here. Well, actually, that might be a little too close to him, so I'm going to actually go right about here. And then we'll turn these back on again. There we go. So now we're really stockpiling that center row. And then he should be done after that last pass there. And then we'll do maybe one more windrow, because I want to make sure I've got enough for at least one bale, because that's really all we need. Okay, make sure that we've got that all situated. Okay, we're good. Hang around. And then we'll go down the center of this one. Turn this one on, and then we'll make one more row, just to be safe. Then we'll move this guy out of the way, then we'll move the harvester out of the way, and then we'll start picking up our baler. But actually, we need a way to pick it up, so I think I've got a forklift over at the main area over there. All right, this should be good. Let's go ahead and fold this back up. We'll park this guy right over here for now, just to get him out of the way. Perfect. And we'll get this harvester out of the way. Park him over here, just so that way we don't get into any collisions with our baler, just like that. And then there's our baler. Alright, so now let's come on over here and let's start working on our first round hay bale. Okay, our first round hay bale is processing. I've never seen one of these ones in the works before, so this ought to be interesting if it just rolls out the back or how this thing works. Uh-oh. Wow. Unload baler. I guess that was quick. Let's see. Let's hit X. That is freaking awesome. I wonder if we have to... Wow, that was really quick. It makes those round ones much faster. Wow, okay. The square ones, man, you'd have to make like 3 or 4 passes to get one of those, man. These round ones are really productive. That alarm kind of threw me off. I was like, what the hell happened? We're about to pick up another one here in a second. Okay, it's just letting you know that you're getting full. And just like that. So let's offload it. And out it rolls. Wow. Okay, so we'll go ahead and leave that like that. Now we've got to come over here and pick up our machine that we're going to use to load it with. And then I think I've got to go find a forklift and bring it over there, which is always fun in my cluster of machinery. So at least let's get this thing situated over here. And by the time we're done with this, our fermenting process should be complete. So let's go ahead and park this guy right here for now. We'll go back to our main hub of equipment here and try and find our forklift. There it is right there. Sweet. So we'll grab that. Now we just need to find a bale fork, which I think that one actually is a bale fork, just not for this particular piece of equipment. Oh, there's one right over here. Okay, so we're gonna squeeze through here. That actually looks like a pallet fork, actually. This one looks like a bale fork, so we'll try and hitch up to this one if we can. It might not be for the right piece of equipment, but we'll see. Oh, yeah. Okay, so we should be good to pick up a bale with this thing. So let's come on over and see if we can't pick up a bale real quick. Oh, sorry. I'm all messing up the equipment everywhere. Oh, there's another loader right there, a forklift right there, too. I'm telling you, man, I just got to reset everything and then just repark it or do something. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to come on over here. We're going to pick up this round bale. If we have the right fork for it, we'll see. Let's get lined up right here with it. There we go. Maybe. Oh, nope. It's going to tilt. Nope. It's going to tilt again. No! Alright, this is going to prove to be quite interesting. Maybe I don't have the right tool for this here. Maybe if I push it up against this, it'll allow me to pick it up a little easier. Let me pick. Oh, nope. No! Oh, it's going to flip over, isn't it? Yes, it is. I'm just going to push this thing everywhere, aren't I? Let me pick you up. Okay, this is going to prove to be quite interesting on how to pick that thing up. Alright, so maybe I can back in with this thing. Let me try opening the door with it. We'll see if I can back into the baler or something, or back into the bale with this machine. We'll see if that makes it a little easier. Nope. Okay, so this is what we're going to do then. We're going to park that there. We're going to spin around this way, and maybe we can push it in there. Okay, so let's back up here. I knew this was going to be a pain in the butt. I hate everything to do with these forklifts. They are such a pain in the butt. So let's lift this thing up. Come on. In there. Get in there. No. Oh my goodness. Okay, now get in the machine. Okay, well at least it's all standing up right now. See if we can't pick it up now that it's in the upright position here. Nope. Alright, so I'm wondering if I've got the wrong tool here, because this is really becoming a pain in the butt. Let's go back and see if we can get a different tool. because that one just is not working. This might even be a silage bucket as to why it's not working very well. So let's just drop that tool off there. Let's try getting this pallet fork thing and see if this works any better. That actually looks like a bale fork to begin with anyway. It's got the sharper spikes on it, or the sharper stingers. So let's go back and try this again. Maybe that's what our problem was, is I was using a silage bucket instead of an actual bale fork. Alright, let's try this again. Okay, let's go sideways because I can't really see very well. There we go. Oh, nice and easy. Nice. No! You stupid frickin' bale. Damn it. Okay, pick it up. Nope, it's gonna roll off again. And there it goes. Okay, let's try this again. There we go. Roll onto my forks. Great, now it's stuck in the equipment. No! Okay, at least we got it out. Okay, now we should be able to get in there. Hopefully. Oh my gosh, these freaking forklifts are a nightmare. Like, you just can't, like, dig under these things to pick them up for the life of you. There we go. Okay, I think I've got it. Okay, nice and easy now. Nice and easy. Easy does it. Okay, let's go right over here to this machine. Oh, gosh. Let's lift it up a little bit. And let's successfully put it in. No! Okay, that's not going to work. Okay, so let's bring it around this way here. I was kind of hoping it would just accept it and just kind of like fall in there, but it's not working that way. So maybe if I feed it in straight this way, it'll work. How about like this? Will you accept it like this? Oh my gosh, please don't be like the... There it goes. Is that gonna work? Or does it have to be straight? You're kidding me, right? It's gotta be sideways. It's gotta be like perfectly straight in there. You know, that is really gonna suck if that's not gonna let me do that. Get in there. Yeah, it's gonna be all difficult, isn't it? It's gonna make me put it in there perfectly straight. Oh my goodness. Okay, so I'm gonna cut it here and I'll come back hopefully by the time I've got this put in there. Alright, so all you had to do was just spear it right through the center. Oh my goodness. I was all trying to pick it up and all you had to do was just stab it. So yeah, so for future reference, for those of you who are working with these equipment, you could just stab through the center of it. Okay, so let's get this sat right in here now. We'll see if it accepts it like this. Nice and perfect, like. Get in there. Oh, it's gonna want you perfect, huh? And that's funny thing is this is the only piece of equipment in this game that I read about that people absolutely hate. Like everybody, it's not just me that has issues with these forklifts and front loaders and yeah, it's just getting this thing in here that's really becoming the bear here. No, no. Oh gosh. There we go. Now fall in there perfectly. This is ridiculously difficult. Like, it may look easy, but it's not. Like, you have got to get this in there perfectly, and I thought I had it. You wouldn't think, like, it almost makes it not worth it. That's why I haven't done a lot of this stuff. You guys probably think, well, you know, why hasn't he done this particular thing or this particular thing? And this is why. It's because of how difficult it is to get some of the equipment to work, or just the time it takes. Like, this game is very, very, very time consuming. And to me, if it takes too long to do this, like the whole sheep thing, I gave up on that. Like, if it takes too long to make the money or the process to get it done, then I don't even bother with it. It ain't even worth my time to sit here and do what I'm doing. But I want to at least show you guys how... Oh. Okay, so is that in there, or do I need to push it in there perfectly now? Let's make sure that it's in there perfectly. Let's try pushing it in this way. Let's get out and see if it's... Okay. Now it's... Okay, we're loaded. Alright. Woohoo! We are loaded now, people. Now, hopefully it doesn't fall out. I've got straw in here. Finally. That only took 10 minutes. So by the time we've just got done screwing around with all this straw, our fermenting should be unblanketed. Everything we need should be set in stone and in process up here. Everything should be ready. So we're just going to make our way back up to the cow fields to finally conclude the series once and for all. Because that was quite a freaking nightmare. I will be pissed if this thing rolls out on a bump up here. I think the game physics registers it as locked into the vehicle anyway, because it should have rolled out by now if it was going to. This trailer just is not very stable. We're gonna take a safe spot just to be safe. We're gonna go four-wheeling still, but we're gonna go a little bit different route. See, just like this. There we go. Oh gosh. Okay, so your hay machine. Oh, it says to close the door, so let's hit X. Close the door. Ta-da! Look at that. I guess I should have had that closed the whole time. No worries. But anyway, all you've got to do if you want to feed your cows straw is you come on up here and it's going to start shooting it right into their... See? This little device opens up and it starts to shoot straw into their feeding area. Just kind of drive it around and it grinds the barrel down, and voila, all that work just to feed the cows. Now you know why cow feeding is such a pain in the ass. Okay. That's all I wanted to show you guys. The feeding machine is very similar. You just put your straw, like I just had, you just offload your straw in there. You just take a forklift and drop the straw bale, you drop a hay bale, and then you take a bucket of silage. It mixes together, and then you just pull up to the cows. That's really all it is. It's quite sad, actually. Alright, so our stuff is all done fermenting. Now we're going to grab a bucket full of our fermented material. Okay, we've scooped up a bucket of our fermented materials now. So now I'm just going to show you guys exactly what I mean by feeding the cows silage, as far as the difference between it. Here's our statistics. There's our cow productivity. They're at 35% right now. See, we can come right on up here, and then we could drop the silage right into our feeding machine. Just like this. See, it's starting to fill up with silage right now. We probably could have just dropped it right into the trough itself, but I'm just showing you guys really quick the whole feeding machine process. And our feeding machine is just about full with silage already. Alright, there you go. There's one bucket full. Okay, so now we'll jump into our feeding machine here. And if I would have kept the hay in there and then the straw, all I would have done is I would have just turned on the mixer like it is right now. and then we were now currently mixing the silage. It would have mixed it and made a mixture ratio to feed the cows, but like I said, I'm not too concerned about that. So now we're just going to hit Q, and just like that, it starts spitting out the silage right into there, and then the cows now have straw, and they now have an entire trough full of silage to start feeding on. You can see this, the trough silage down there starting to tick up, and there you go. They now have a full trough of silage. That's all there is to it. Very simple. So let's jump out of this piece of equipment. Now for the final stage of my Farming Simulator 2013 series with the greenhouses. So all we're going to do is we are going to fill up our water tanks here. So let's swap over to our water tank. Let's go ahead and see, there's our tomatoes just filled up. Put a little bit in there. And then we'll come over here, we'll fill up this one a little bit. Give it a little bit of water. And then we'll come over here, we'll fill this one up, just to kind of show you guys what we need to do. And there you go. See, when you put water in, the actual tomatoes in the greenhouse will start to grow. So then we'll come outside over here. See, we've got a lot of manure, liquid manure producing too. So we're pretty good on that aspect of it. So now we're going to come back on over here to our front end loader. We're going to go grab another bucket full of silage, and then we're going to use it for fertilizer in our greenhouses. And that's all there is to it. I know it's been a painful process to watch all this, but this is the first time that I've been dealing with the whole silage, so it's been a learning experience for me as well. We'll scoop some of that up. But it's actually not too difficult once you know what you're doing. At the beginning of it, I thought, man, I'm never going to get into cows or the silage or the mixing or the hay. It's just time consuming. Like, to make this video you're watching is probably going to be a half an hour, maybe 40 minutes, but it's probably a total of several hours of waiting and working and that sort of stuff. So, we're going to come right on over here, lift this up, dump it right into there. There you go. Didn't even fill it up, but it's in there. And now we have healthy green tomatoes that are progressively increasing their yield. So we'll go grab one more bucket just to see if it fills it up or not. I know somebody was saying that they were having issues with the greenhouses not registering the silage in their bins. Oh, see, the cows are starting to come eat the silage now. Looks like they're all sleeping over there too. So now we're going to come right on over here, scoop up another bucket full, and then we'll go back, drop it in there. So yeah, we've pretty much got everything under control. We had the biogas plant last episode where we were taking the silage and putting it into the biogas plant to turn it into more liquid manure. We're feeding our cows over here. Their productivity is at 35%. If you want to get it higher, you need to do the whole mixing machine. That'll get them at 100%, where you mix the straw, which I've shown you already, where you put the hay bale in there, which I've shown you already, and then by simply dumping silage in there, which I just now showed you as well. So for those of you who didn't follow that, all you do is just get your square hay bale. You drop a square hay bale right into the top of your feeding machine right here like this. Just drop a square hay bale in there. You take the round hay bale like I just did, and then you put your round hay bale in there, and then you take a bucket of silage, drop that in there as well, and then you turn on the mixer and it mixes it into a nice little ratio of feeding material for your cows, and then they come over here and then they start to dine and enjoy themselves. So you guys can see down there I've got the silage, the grass. I can do the mixed rations if I really wanted to, but we've got tons of liquid manure producing. We've got 80 cows out there producing all sorts of material for us. Our milk tank is getting full, and these guys are now becoming more productive. It's a lot of work. It's decent money, but it's a lot of work. Definitely the money making is definitely just harvesting your crops. This stuff is fun to do just because, but like I said before, it's a lot of work, and to me it's really just more so for the fun of it, not so more, for the money aspect. But it's nice just to come in and just to say, hey, I did it. It was fun. I had a lot of fun with the series. So sorry for ending season 2 so early, but like I said, I just wanted to get pretty much the rest of the equipment purchased, which I've got. The silage is complete, the biogas plant is complete, greenhouses are placed and instructed on how to work. Everything is under control, working properly, and I'm happy with ending this series on this note. And I got plenty of other series that I'm working on, so that's one reason I'm trying to conclude a lot of my Let's Plays, so that way I have not so much work to do. At any rate, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed Farming Simulator 2013. This is the end of it. It was a long run. I had a great time. We finally completed everything we needed to complete. I hope you guys are still going to enjoy my other work, my other channels, or my other games, videos, that sort of stuff. I have a lot of other content for you to watch, and I hope you guys stick around. So until then, we'll see you later.